Hello everybody and welcome to TradeStation's Market Review. My name's Simon Clarke from Trade with Precision and I'll be discussing some of the key markets of interest right now. Now, last week we had a lot of bullish momentum in the US indices and that was sort of evident in a lot of the futures markets. Last week we looked at the mini Dow future. Around last week the market was just above the 17,700 level here. In fact, we can see what's happened last week. The market's just continued to move up. We've had some very bullish momentum all last week. Now, last week, the daily chart here was looking a bit indecisive. The weekly chart was in a strong downtrend and the monthly was in a strong uptrend. So overall, there wasn't really sort of trend confirmation across these higher time frames. At the moment, the market's looking more bullish and we still haven't made a new high. So I mean, this is the previous lower high in the market. We still haven't made that yet. We still haven't broken through 18,100, but it's certainly looking very close and it's certainly looking very bullish at this moment in time on the daily. The weekly again is looking extremely bullish, and of course the monthly has always been looking very bullish. And if we come to the 4-hour chart here, we can see on the 4-hour chart we've just got a very nice trend structure here. We've got nice clear series of higher highs, higher lows. Markets pull back into 18,100. So I think we've got potential here for maybe a move back up towards 18,100. I'm certainly looking for 18,100 to be broken before looking for sort of more swing positions to the high side, but I certainly think there's going to be some interesting intraday opportunities whether we get a push towards 18,100 or if we start to get a bit of a pullback here on some of these more intraday time frames. Now, if we come and take a look at some of the other US indices, then this will start to build a bigger picture. So if we take a look at we looked at the mini Dow. If we look at the mini S&Ps, the mini S&Ps, that's the ES here, we can see that the mini S&Ps are ahead of the mini Dow. So the market's already right up here at its highs already. So right up here towards the sort of 2,120 area, we can see that it's right up at the highs here, even more bullish than the mini Dow. And if we come and take a look at the mini Nasdaq, we can see that the mini Nasdaq is leading the pack. Mini Nasdaq last week has really taken off. We've had some extreme bullish momentum here in the markets, and the market's just looking extremely overextended. Now, when we've got the markets looking, or a market looking extremely overextended like this, it just leads me to think that at some point in time I'm going to start to look for evidence of a pullback. At this moment in time, we don't see any sort of evidence on this time frame of a pullback other than the fact that the market is overextended from the moving averages. If I come down to the 4-hour chart, again we can see that we've got a very bullish momentum here. Nice market structure, but again there's no evidence on these time frames that the market is about to retrace at all. So I'm keeping a close eye on for potential retracement opportunities on these markets, but overall looking at continuous bullish momentum across all three US indices. Now, if we take a look at the other markets that we were looking at last week, we're looking at platinum. Now, platinum at the time, the market had just had a big strong move to the short side. We were looking at this lovely strong downtrend. The market had had a big move. It was overextended. We're looking at a possible either a consolidation or a possible pullback into the averages before the trend continued. And we can see that it's done exactly what we thought. The market did tread sideways and it has had a continuation of a move down. In fact, what we were looking at on the lower time frames here on the 4-hour time frame, we'd identified this sort of level around the sort of 1020 area where the market had sort of found support a number of times. And again, because we had the divergence occurring here between our indicators and price, we're just looking for a potential bit of buying momentum coming back into the market. In fact, the market couldn't retrace any further. It just sort of drifted sideways until it eventually broke the level, and then we got more trading opportunities to the short side. Now, the same sort of pattern has happened as it occurred earlier. In fact, the market, did have that strong move down, was extremely overextended, and now we're starting to pull back. So if we start to think about where the market may pull back to, we can see that we've got the 1000 level that we looked at last week as well, that is historically, it's a strong, it's a big strong round number, and it's been tested historically on the monthly chart a number of times. That number, or that level, happens to cluster with the moving averages, and if we just think about the trend structure, we've got a high, we've got a low, we've got a lower high, we've got a lower low. At some point we need a lower high for this trend to continue, and markets may be pulling back up into this area. Maybe we get a lower high around that area, around that 1000 level, and potential trading opportunities to the short side. One of the other strong markets that I like at the moment is Kiwi dollar. If we come and take a look at Kiwi dollar, we can see that this is probably one of the strongest, cleanest trends that we can see on some of these higher time frames. We can see on the daily chart here, very, very nice clear series of lower highs, lower lows, moving averages all in the right order. Even coming down to the higher time frames like the weekly and the monthly, like we have here, we can see we've got a very strong downtrend. Agreement with our indicators too. If anything, here on the monthly, it's looking a bit overextended. In fact, on a lot of these higher time frames, just a little bit overextended at this moment in time. And if we come to here on the daily, we can start to see a little bit of evidence of this on the MACD. We can see that we've got a bit of divergence here with the current low, just indicating we might get a bit of buying momentum coming back into this market. So maybe looking for opportunities as the market sort of comes back up into the moving averages, looking for more sort of small bearish candles, and looking for shorting opportunities to take advantage of this trend to the short side. Okay, let me just tell you about the webinars that we're running this week. If we come across to the TradeStation International website and you come across to the webinars tab over here, we'll then get a list of the webinars that are running this week. In fact, running this month. In fact, the webinar that we're running this week is this one here on the 22nd of July. It's predictive technical analysis techniques, and in this webinar, it's a 1-hour webinar. It's completely free of charge to join, and what we're going to be doing is looking at some of the key techniques that we use to read future price action. So some fairly sort of unconventional techniques that we use to be able to build our trading decisions ahead of time. So if you'd like to come along and attend this webinar, it's on Wednesday evening UK time. You can navigate to the TradeStation International website, come along to this page here and fill in your details to register to join. Okay, so we certainly look forward to seeing you on the webinar, and hope you found it useful, and I look forward to speaking to you next time. Thank you. Bye for now.